Welcome back to Let's Pour Up, the podcast about how life be lifing. My name is Colina, and today I'm here with a special guest.
Hello.
My guest used to play the steel drums in middle school and high school, is a mom of 3, and is the sole owner of Better Properties Renton.
Yes, that's correct.
Cabby Albright. Welcome
Hello.
to Let's Pour Up. All right, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're in real estate.
Yeah. So you have like a couple little facts
A little
that
fun
are so
facts.
random. But you know a lot about me, but the other people don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in real estate. I got in real estate 13 years ago.
Okay.
I started off as just a real estate broker. And I got into the industry after I purchased my first home with my ex-husband.
Oh.
I'm still there.
Okay. Little tea, we pouring up early, huh?
But I just wanted to give other clients, other people the same experience that I had.
Yeah.
Or a better experience than I had. Because
Gotcha.
I initially had kind of a poor experience, and then blah, 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 lead up. And then I had a good experience. And then it was just like so many moving parts, but I just didn't feel like people were really taking that demographic seriously because we were only 24.
What's that demographic?
Like the young, the Black, the professional, just us, like how we looked, urban professionals. They just weren't. I don't feel like the industry was really taking us seriously in that time. And it was coming right out of the recession, or we were like right in the thick of the recession, right? Or for us, it was the thick of the recession. But for everybody else, they were coming on the way out of it, right?
Yeah.
We were experiencing, the job losses, the, coming out of college,
right?
Just can
all
I keep a
things.
job?
Life was lifing.
Life was lifing, right?
Yeah.
So I was just really like, okay, well, some of us are still saving money and some of us want to buy real estate, but they just were not. Like, I had more than one agent just be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we'll see if you can get qualified.
Not taking you seriously.
Yeah, just kind of really, shushing you under the rug. And it was like, this really sucks. And I wonder how many other people, I'm a little bit more experienced than the average buyer just coming into it because my mom's ex-husband, my stepdad, growing up, he's a real estate broker, right?
Yeah.
And he actually sold me my house back then, and that was a great experience. But leading up to that, it was like, oh, I didn't even know you were still licensed, and just kind of understanding how it works a little bit differently. And then lots of transitions were happening. The Central District was happening. This is
gentrification
of the Central District. I just say the Central District. I mean, a lot of people know what that is, but the gentrification of the Central District was happening. We saw a lot of families just basically getting pushed out, and it was like, why is this happening? Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
What do we do to fix it? And there wasn't very many people that looked like me. One, that were licensed agents and that were in that age demographic. Now there's a lot of young agents, and I'm like so pumped for them all, but there wasn't very many young agents when I started.
Gotcha.
Like I was the youngest agent in my office.
So that led you to
and in several offices.
Yeah. So that led you to really think about how you yourself could, you basically, you saw a gap and you saw yourself as a solution to that.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. That's exactly what happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And 13 years later.
Yeah, 13 years later, I own this company.
Come
this
on,
is the first
owner.
Year.
Yeah.
We've been shareholders. I had a business partner for a little while. We bought all the other shareholders out, but this year was the first year that I'll be owning it just by myself.
Well, congratulations.
Which has been a goal for a long time.
That's amazing.
So that's pretty cool.
So
and
proud
it's
of
exciting.
You. Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome.
It's a transition.
It's yes. Listen, we all need a transition.
I mean, you're a young business owner. You understand,
And it's different when you get started. Like you've been in it for 13 years. I'm 3 years in. So,
right.
Life be like.
And it's still transitions.
Exactly. Every time.
Every year it's you can have really high highs and you can have really low lows, and it just depends on how much do you feel, how much do you believe in your product.
Yeah.
For me, real estate is the product. For you, candles are the product.
Right.
But it's more than that.
It's not always gonna be just
candles
rainbows and sunshine.
Or buyers or sellers, right?
Yeah,
so I've had to get really innovative in even the type of real estate that I do. I sell at auction. I do renovations. I have the office, you know, so I have multiple different jobs within real estate.
And it sounds like you're also creating multiple streams of revenue.
Absolutely.
It's not just like the job looks different every day. It's like, how do I create multiple
income
streams?
to come in consistently.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and not be dependent on a market or, you know, a demographic.
Right.
Right. So.
Okay. Well, we like to get started with a moment of meaning.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. I know you prepared the moment of meaning today. So,
are you prepared?
I don't know. What's our moment of meaning?
What's the moment? Yeah. So the moment of meaning is 2 truths and a lie.
Okay. You're going to start?
So I'll go first.
Okay.
Then you're going to give us 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, okay. We're going to pray about it. Okay, go ahead.
We're going to try.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so my first... Oh, wait, I can't tell you.
You can't tell me. Okay.
Okay, so I played a doctor on a movie, a small part, and you can now trust me because I'm a doctor. Okay, that's 1. 2.
Okay.
Women were not allowed to purchase a home on their own without a cosigner before the 70s.
Okay,
so we'll see if that's true or false. And then the last one is I've had 3 surgeries above the shoulders.
Okay, so I'm going to do a process of elimination. I'm going to start with the one that I believe is true.
Okay.
Because I saw a Instagram video recently where there was a older Black woman and she has been a homeowner for a very long time. She's one of the longest homeowners in her neighborhood. And the person who was interviewing her had asked her how she became a homeowner. And she had said at the time her real estate agent kind of finessed whoever the buyer was and said that her husband was buying the property for her, but putting it in her name, but she didn't have no husband. She's lying. But she said they had to do that because she could not buy a home. And that time, women could not buy homes without men. So I'm going to say that that's true.
Okay. All right. That is the truth.
Okay.
That one true.
Come on, Instagram.
So before 1974, women could not sign on a mortgage. It was basically the credit bureaus or whatever. So credit cards, mortgages, any lines of credit, you couldn't sign without a male cosigner.
That is crazy.
1974.
That's insane.
Like,
yeah.
You know, my mom was born, I think, already. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my mom would have been 14 when that happened.
They were teenagers, right?
That's insane.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm like, wait, what?
Okay, I know. Math be mathing. Okay.
So you got 1 truth.
All right. And then the other one is, I know that you have had some surgeries. I don't know if they've all been above the shoulders. 3 above the shoulders. Or you play this. Okay. Because it's kind of far-fetched. And I know also you've been dibbling and dabbling. I'm going to say you had a role as an actress.
As the truth or the false?
As the truth.
Okay. That is false.
I knew it. I was going to say, because I know you had some stuff up here.
I played some small roles in other things. Okay. Been a doctor, but you can still trust me.
Ooh,
that's like one of my taglines.
Okay. You're so stupid. Okay.
Okay, so yes, I've had 3 surgeries above the neck. So I've had my tonsils removed, wisdom teeth removed, and Bubba removed. Remember?
Okay, yes, I remember the 2, but wisdom teeth I didn't see as a surgery.
I know, but I had to go under the knife, and they had to put me to sleep.
You got me. All right.
I was like, I wonder if she's going to get this one right.
No, because I remember the 2.
Right.
And we did the wisdom teeth together.
And boy, was a time had.
Oh my gosh, that little medicine maybe. A mess. Okay. Now I'm supposed to do this?
Yeah, you're supposed to give me 2 truths and a lie.
Oh. Okay, let me think about this. 2 truths and a lie. Okay. I am fluent in Spanish.
Okay.
I'm bilingual.
Okay. Not bilingual. Okay.
Come on, bilingual baddie.
Okay.
Let's see. I met my biological father when I was in college. And I do not really like chocolate ice cream. What, Producer Blake?
What's so funny? What's so funny? Okay, well, I know for sure you met your biological father in college because I was around.
Okay.
I wasn't there, but
you
were
present.
It was a lead up.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
That's
true.
You know, what you be doing in your pastime, Duolingo be lingoing. Emmy and Cece are surely learning Japanese right now. They be talking to me in Japanese all the time. I be like, what? You wasn't right. What did you say, girl? But I don't think you're bilingual. In Spanish.
The shade of it. Oh, I am half Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not bilingual.
And I know you love chocolate cookies, so like you probably like chocolate ice cream too. I never.
No, I don't like chocolate ice cream. So but you know what's funny?
That's the truth. Okay,
that's the truth. I don't like chocolate ice cream. But the reason why that was on the top of my brain this morning was because my son, who's 5 years old, loves chocolate ice cream.
Oh, that's cute.
Hey, Duke. And he was like, Mom, I love chocolate ice cream. And I was like, I do not like chocolate ice cream. Like, and he was like, Mom, do not yuck my yum.
Oh. I love
said,
that.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to start using that.
Do not yuck my yum.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That's, yeah.
Where did you get that from?
Probably school, you know, but, or YouTube. But yeah, basically, it was just a little reminder. My son be dropping little gems like, yeah don't yuck my yum.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I was hesitant about the Spanish because, you know, you took some classes.
I did take some classes.
You know, and you are Puerto Rican.
Half
Ecan.
Oh, okay. All right, so
half, you know,
we're gonna move on. No.
The kids are learning Japanese.
Yeah, my son's learning Spanish.
We might need to get hit by some
things. We didn't have access to the things that they have access to. Yeah, they just have it.
Konnichiwa. I'm like, wait, what?
You're like, Siri. What does?
Okay. All right. Well, that was good. We did good.
Good job. Thank you. That was fun.
That was fun.
Okay. So we're going to move on to Word on the Curb. Have you watched the Quiet on the Set documentary?
No, I haven't. Is this so
okay.
good? I wish I would have now.
Okay, so I'm not going to say anything about it, but, I'll just share a high-level overview. It's about the Nickelodeon kid stars and some of the things that they've gone through behind the scenes. And there's a lot of controversy around if parents put their children in positions to be essentially abused or traumatized by grown-ups for the sake of getting a bag.
Right.
So anyhow, you should watch it. It is. I think it's a 4-part series, and it's kind of crazy. It's very crazy. It's insane.
There's a documentary. I don't know the name of it, but it's about the schools, the boarding schools.
Oh, is it called like The Program or something? I haven't watched it yet,
like
but
about the schools that they got sent off to.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but that's on my list of things to watch.
Yeah, it's on mine too, especially since my ex went there. He was at one of those schools. And so when he used to tell me stuff about it. And when I saw like the first like trailer of it, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds exactly like his experience.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what am I, it was late at night. So I was like, what is this on Netflix? What's happening here?
Right.
I was like, what's happening here? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. So I immediately called the grandma and was like, what's up? Did you know about this? Yeah. She was like, oh, this was the name of the school. And I was like, oh my God. What? She's like, they're gone. They're completely gone. They're not around anymore because of these things.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people that have been resonating with like what's been shown and saying like, I'm so glad that this has come to light because this was my experience.
Yeah. So
that's insane.
I'm really interested to watch that.
Yeah,
too.
Me too. Okay.
So we'll talk about that.
There's another thing that I brought today.
What you got there?
It's called Huzzy.
Okay.
Do you know what is a huzzy? What's like a hussy? What is it? Maybe is it huzzy? Is it hussy?
That says huzzy.
It does say huzzy, but I saw.
But you used to be in call.
Me? Clutching my pearls. What is a hussy? What's a hussy?
What is a hussy? It's like a hooch.
Yeah, like it was an old term for a promiscuous woman.
Promiscuous woman.
Yeah.
Promiscuous.
So.
Yeah, we never been called no hussies.
No.
But my grandma used to say that word.
To who?
No, I ain't gonna say it on.
This drink is called Hussy Smart Sips, and it is a non-alcoholic cocktail. It was crafted by a Black woman who was battling alcoholism to some degree, or just felt like she was going down a path where she was drinking too much, and created this drink as a fun alternative. Supposedly, you're supposed to get like a little buzz from it, but not like the fuzz of alcohol is what it says.
Okay.
Anyways,
so what causes the buzz?
I don't know. It says the feel good stuff.
Feel goods.
So there's a lot of natural things in here for a euphoric experience.
Oh.
It looks very natural. All of like the fat, cholesterol, sodium, all that stuff, most of it says 0%.
How much sugar?
It is, I don't see here. I'm gonna pass you one of these.
Okay.
Oh, one serving. Yeah, I'm gonna pass you one. We have two.
So which one are we trying?
2 flavors. You can pick which one you want. One is a whiskey flavor.
Okay. This is the Golden Elixir whiskey.
And then this one is a Moscow Mule flavor.
Maybe we should try the same one so we know.
Okay,
so
and it says it has gut health ingredients. It says
like
unwind
probiotics?
and socialize without compromising your health or experience. And it also says flip
8
me,
grams
then
of
sip
sugar.
me.
Only 50. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
alcohol, 100%.
which one are we trying? Are we trying the?
Let's try the whiskey.
Okay, let's do it. So it says flip me and then sip me.
Okay.
So we gotta flip like that. I don't want to shake it up, girl.
Me neither.
I don't want to shake it up. Okay, say yes to no alcohol.
Okay. Ooh, I can open that. How was I able to open that? I never can open these.
Perf. Okay, it's
Okay,
fizzy. Cheers to the
Cheers.
pour up.
Okay.
All right, I'll let you go first.
Not you sampling stuff on me. Try it. Tastes kind of like ginger beer.
It does.
What you
Okay,
think?
it's interesting. It's like it is kind of like ginger beer. Well, when you said ginger beer, I was expecting more of a kick, but it tastes good.
Doesn't taste bad.
No,
It doesn't taste like juice or, I mean, I guess it kind of tastes whiskey-ish.
let me try again. Oh yeah, I can kind of yeah. I can taste the whiskey.
Careful.
flavor. I know. Okay, so
You see the after has like a little bite, like ginger?
yeah, I'm curious as to what gives the buzz. You know,
The feel
is
good,
it like
I
supposed
guess.
to be like an energy drink or?
I don't know. Let's see.
You know, all I do know, it's Black woman owned. So I saw it on the Shade Room. I went and bought it. It sold out in 3 days. So
Whoa.
yeah, it's supposed to be really, really good. So
I'm so curious.
okay, well,
Well,
we'll
be
keep
curious.
drinking it throughout the show and
Yeah,
see
we'll
what
figure it
see if
out.
we get a buzz.
see how we feel at the end of the show. What's happening now?
Right. Okay. So our next segment
Mm-hmm.
is called "Since You Know Everything."
I do know a lot.
Have you seen? Well, I know you've seen Precious. What she said is now that you got your little degree and you think you know everything.
yes.
Okay, that's where this comes from. But this is actually like people who actually know stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so you are.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you're on the hot seat now.
And I'm like,
You are an expert
Okay.
on real estate. And
Yes.
so I went and Googled a bunch of like the most asked questions
Okay.
right now. So I have
Yeah.
a bunch of questions.
All right.
We'll answer as many as we can.
Okay.
Just keep in mind, we have a bunch of folks from all over different ranges of experience in terms of real estate watching. So
Yeah, for sure.
this first question is, if I'm a home buyer, what do I need to purchase a home? Like, how do I prepare to purchase a first-time home buyer?
For a first-time home buyer, the main thing that you're going to want to do is get over a 620 credit score.
Okay.
So make sure your credit is good. The higher the credit score, the better for lending purposes. And then the next thing you'd want to do is make sure that you're saving up some cash, because even if you were to get like down payment assistance or any other types of programs that there may be out there for where you're at, because this isn't necessarily going to go to only people in Seattle or Washington State,
right, yeah.
Wherever you're at, if there's different types of programs. The thing about that is that making sure that you still have some money saved. People think, oh, well, I'm going to have the down payment assistance or I'm going to get a gift or whatever. The issue with that is that there's still other fees. So like inspection, your deposit, I'm going to just say that, or it's earnest money, but your deposit that you put down is like basically putting a deposit down for an apartment. But that's what the earnest money is essentially. So if you decide to bail, then, you decide to move to Mexico.
Right.
2 days before closing.
Right.
The seller gets to keep that money.
Yeah.
Right.
So what does a typical down payment look like?
For a first-time home buyer, you can do a FHA loan for 3.5% down of the purchase price. But I really do recommend people getting a pre-approval before they go out shopping.
Okay.
It really sets the standard for how much you really can afford and what that payment's going to look like for you.
Yeah.
Because even if you're approved for $950,000, you may not want to spend that per month.
Right.
You may not be comfortable with what you want in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
To spend that type of mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really important to kind of have that in order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And so the next question is kind of related. If I am looking for a home, what is that process in terms of a time frame? What does it look like from the search process to closing?
We get that question a lot, and that varies based on where the person is in their status. So if they're coming pre-approved and they're actively shopping with me, my turnaround time is very fast.
Okay.
So
she said, we in and out, baby.
They're normally in and out if they are prepared once the pre-approval is in hand.
Yeah.
Now that process, it's pretty much under 3 months for my turnaround time.
Okay.
Start to finish.
Is that average, like across the sector, or?
I think it really it varies so much, because some agents take a long time with their clients. They move a little bit slower with their clients, and some people, they're moving super fast and they're in and out in a month. They're start to finish. And it also depends on what type of buyer. We're talking about first time home buyers.
Yeah.
They take a little bit more time, so I'd say at least 3 months.
Okay.
But from the time that they say that I'm interested in buying a house, it normally takes a year before you close on your house.
Jesus.
So like when somebody says to themselves, they wake up in the morning, they're like, I'm going to buy a house this year, January 1st.
Right.
Okay, they probably not getting that house
right.
in December. That's the reality.
Well, we're manifesting it in January.
But I want it right now.
Right.
But then they go and they pull their credit. They're like, oh, I got a couple things on here I want to clean up. Okay, I want to save a little bit more money. I need to see what my parents are looking like, what they're going to help with.
Okay.
I want to see if there's going to be any other decision makers.
Look, must be nice.
Any other decision makers.
Right. Okay, so speaking of that, I'm just throwing this out here. What if I find a home that I love and I make an offer and it gets rejected?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you find a home that you love and it gets rejected,
what are my options? And
is it rejected because someone else wrote a better offer, or because they are just not interested in accepting that current offer? Those are two different variables. So I'll answer both. So in the event that it got accepted, right. In the event that it got rejected because there's multiple offers and you just couldn't compete, then I would say keep it pushing. And, we'll find another one. And, and 9 times out of 10, people find a better home. Okay. So they're
even if they
have their heart set on this, this is my dream house. And it's like, okay, let's talk about why it's your dream house. What it's drawing you to the dream house. Yeah. Let's figure out what are all the things, right? And then go from there. Yeah. But in some instances, that dream house does come back. So we will follow that house. And it's been a few times where I've actually got the house that we originally got rejected for less than what we originally offered.
Look at God.
So yes. I mean, we've done some, that has happened more than once. Yeah. So, and then if you were rejected just because the seller's like, no deal, you lowball the offer, whatever, your terms are unreasonable, which typically does not happen with my clients because we're in close communication with the other broker, the listing broker, if I'm representing a buyer. And also, I'll tell my client, hey, this is not realistic. This is not a realistic offer, and they're probably not going to respond.
Gotcha.
And that happens, I don't get that very often. But when I was a newer agent, I had it more happening more often than not before I had, the courage and the knowledge to say, look.
You're probably like, what? Okay, if
whatever the buyer wants.
Exactly, yeah.
But the reality is like they don't know what they're doing. Half the time they don't even know what they're looking for, right? They're like, oh, I want a house with a big yard. And it's like, okay, you're a single woman. You want a house with a big yard. Do you have dogs? I ask other questions. Do you have dogs? Do you have this? Do you have that? And if they're like, no, I just want a big yard. Do you want a garden? No. Okay, well, you travel 2 weeks out of the month. Who's maintaining that yard?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, are you going to pay for someone to have, that's going to be an extra expense. So let's figure out how much it's going to cost to maintain a yard that much.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be able to maintain it. And then, sometimes they're like, I want a townhouse with no yard.
Right. Well, what if they still want the yard? What if that's what they really do want?
Yeah, then we look for that for sure. Yeah. But a lot of times, once you start asking the real questions about their real life versus, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a big yard. That sounds great. But is that what you really want?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not what they really want. So
it's maybe just the idea of what they think that they should have.
Now, families, that's different. If family comes in, they got a bunch of kids, they may want a big yard.
Yeah.
They're like, put these kids outside.
Right.
For my girls, I want y'all to go outside.
We need some yard space.
We going to assist.
So next question. Based on our area and market, if I'm currently a homeowner, is now a good time for me to sell?
Yes, it is a good time to sell.
Okay.
Inventory
is that
low.
A seller's market?
It would be considered a seller's market.
Okay.
I personally don't think that we're in a seller's market right now because interest rates are so high that I don't think that people are beating down your door for your listing.
Yeah.
But you can sell at a great price point right now.
Yeah.
And you can get a high value for your home at this time. Right now entering the spring season.
Now, what does that look like if you get a high value for your home, but you bought your home 10 to 15 years ago, or maybe even just 10 years ago or 7 years ago? What is on the market now is not comparable in terms of value to what you're going to pay. Right?
Right. Absolutely.
So what do you typically?
Typically, they're going to come out of their transaction with a large lump sum of money, which is going to make them very desirable for their next property. So let's say they bought something for $250 during the recession.
Right.
When interest rates were super low, and they also had that, super low mortgage, and now it's 10 years later, 13 years later, 15 years later, and now that house is worth $700,000. They're going to come in with a lot of equity that they can now put towards the next property. Okay. So it may balance out for them if they just transfer the money from one house to the next house.
Gotcha.
And then values are always going to be consistently going up. So they're not really going down.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll ask a couple more. Okay, so this is more of a personal question, and I'm curious to know, as a Black real estate agent and as a woman, have you experienced any particular challenges? And along with that, do you feel like you have any added responsibility as a Black agent in this market?
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
It's a very loaded question.
Yeah, I definitely feel like my first 5 years in the industry, I was a very hidden. I hid who I was to the public. I didn't put any face pictures on any of my mailers. I didn't put my face on any signs. I didn't put my face really out there. Like,
what was the reason?
It was mostly because I did not want to be discriminated against by clients and or by the other party if I'm representing a client.
So you felt if they just saw your name and not your face, they'd be more likely to work with you.
Absolutely. And I do think that did happen in multiple occasions. One, I think that this one situation is kind of, I don't know if I should really talk about this legally, but one situation, I had someone who ended up not wanting to work with me after we had done the full process of a listing. And I think that it was like, oh, there's a photo attached to this. And that's not who I expected, because I never met them in person. I only met them over the phone.
Gotcha.
And they were a referral by another person that was not of color. So it was like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
So it was really hard to deal with that, because it was like the only reason why they don't want to work with you anymore is because this. And this is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So that really sucked. But I've definitely experienced some discrimination in the industry, and, you know, just how people talk to you and assume that you don't know what you're doing or talk to you. More so being female and young. I think that's a big thing too. Is like if they see your face, they're like, oh, you're so young. You need a lot. You have a lot to learn. And it's like, how long have you been doing this? You look 70. And how long have you been in the industry? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, but really, they're like, I've been doing this 7 years.
Thank God we don't look like what we've been through.
I've been 13. I've been doing this longer, so I don't really know. But, you know, sometimes you'll have people big time you. But for the most part right now, I think the industry has gotten a lot more diverse in Seattle. We've experienced a lot of discrimination with appraisals. That's a big deal that went all over the news. Yeah. That is a big deal that I was already seeing happening in full effect. And so that's been something that we've been like, if you want to refi, you need to be clearing your house of I do a very good job of protecting my clients from discrimination, whether they're listing or things that I do.
Yeah, and that's my next question. Have you had personal experiences with clients who have experienced discrimination?
Absolutely, yeah. So for refinances, for them shopping, across the board. So one thing that I do to really protect my clients on the buyer side is I make sure that they never enter a property with the sellers present. So if the seller's present, we'll just leave. They may look at the property, but we don't really talk much about the property on site. And then we'll discuss it later. And that'll be a different type of conversation. Another thing that I do is if I have a listing, I make sure that they take out all things that may be discriminatory towards them. So even religion, you know, politics, those things you can get discriminated on against, you know. So anything that makes it seem like, oh, Black people live in this house, so I'm going to lowball them. You know, they don't need this top value. Right. I make sure that I eliminate anything in that house that can make it that shows like a person of color lives here. Yeah. So Black art, I take down Black art. That's interesting. I paint red walls. Red walls are a common thing that people assume that Black families will have in their home.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it is a stigma that I do see. I toured with a lot of non-people of color, you know, white people, you know, different races too, and they would assume that if we go into a house that nobody is there, no pictures are present, and there's a red wall, they're like, oh, Black people live here. Like the agents have said that in my presence. Okay. And I'm like, okay, why do you think that? Well, because it's a red wall. Some Black people do that.
What is red? You know, what does it symbolize?
just like the color scheme, like what they would paint in their house, like how they would decorate their home. Yeah. They just assume that it's going to be a person of color. Wow. So the first thing we do, if I see any bold colors, I'm like, paint this white. Paint it white. Just paint it white. Yeah. Just paint it.
And it just creates a blank slate.
Blank slate. We just want to create a blank slate, and it really protects the client. Yeah. Significantly.
A win is a win. Tell me about a time that you've experienced some sort of challenge or a success that you just want to brag about.
Oh, I think the biggest success right now that I'm going to be like just like on a high is that we own for the last like several years, it's been we own this company, and we have 20 brokers that work for this company. Yeah. And it's really just it's so great to have. One situation, I told this to another news broadcaster a long time ago, but there was a little girl, and this girl's just she's right here in my brain, like she's burned into my brain, right? Like she walked by the office and she was like, "What's this?" And real fast or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, it's a real estate office." And she was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, we buy and sell homes." And she was like, "I want to buy a house." And I was like, yes.
Yeah, you deserve.
Absolutely. And she was like, "Can I come to you when I want to buy a house?" Find me, boo. Yeah. I will help you. Right. I will help you do all the things. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. You can find me, or anybody on my team, or any of us will help you. We would love to help you. Yeah. And that energy right there, just like that experience, this is like shortened version of it, but that like little experience just shows how important it is to have yourself, people that look like you in the workplace, in the industry as homeowners. And it's just really, really important. So that's a win.
And in all facets of life. I mean, you can think about how many teachers that you've had that have looked like you, or how many, and how often if you go to the doctor and the doctor looks like you, and you feel a little bit more like, whew, like I may actually be able to feel a little bit more safe.
Yeah, absolutely,
and I'm sure it's the same kind of situation.
Absolutely, and I don't just sell to people of color. I don't just sell to Black people, right? I have everybody in my portfolio, every walk of life. But there is something about being represented and having that representation in this industry that is really not a Black driven industry. It's very underrepresented, even still today.
Right.
And Black women, is underrepresented.
Yeah.
Right. And then home ownership is still underrepresented by significantly.
Yeah.
So,
well, cheers to
so
you.
that is a win.
And what did it? I mean, that's not a easy feat. Like, what did it take for you to become an owner?
Cash. Lots of cash.
The coin.
A lot of cash. And that was another thing, is that like nobody was giving us financing for this. Like I paid for it out of my commissions. Like,
so you're self-financing.
Yeah, I self-financed every single thing about this company.
Yeah.
So it came out of, originally out of our back pockets,
Right.
So it's like I negotiated each individual shareholder individually, from if they owned just a couple shares to if they owned 20% shares.
Yeah.
I was negotiating each individual one and, offering them a price that they couldn't refuse, and plucking them off. And it took me a whole year to negotiate all of them for me and my past business partner to take over all of those shares.
And how you and your past business partner, how are you today?
Well, his name's Salim. I won't just call him.
Hi, Salim.
You're not really my past business partner.
Yeah.
No, we're really good friends. We've been friends since we were 15 years old.
Okay.
We have a great friendship. We're like family. Like, that's like my brother.
Yeah.
His family's my family. My family's his family. Like, we're all mixed, all intertwined, right? But he's stepping into a different light for him, and that's not my story to tell, but he got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. It's really beautiful, and this is really my passion. So he originally got in the industry, not in the industry, but in this part of the business because of me, and so now he's like, all right, it's time for you to, take on, and I'm gonna take a step back, and you go.
I think that's so dope when you can grow something with somebody, and then you all can still kind of pursue the things that bring you the most joy,
right.
But still like be happy for each other and cheer for each other, and find success in those things. Because a lot of times you don't see that. A lot of times it's like really bad. Like you see the squiggly red line in between the partnership,
Right.
And so,
and that's not like he has a wedding coming up. I'm going to the wedding, so it's gonna be.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Some candles.
We're going to Puerto Rico.
You gotta see some of my cousins.
Actually, he had a picture of his family, and he sent it to me, and he was like, "Who is that in the middle?" I said, "Is that Colina?"
Okay.
And he was like, "No, but I'm gonna show you the picture."
It might be. I may have a doppelganger.
No, you may have a cousin.
Probably. I got a cousin.
Let me find out you related to Lee.
It's so silly. This quote, I saw it this morning, and what you were saying just reminded me of it. It says, you pray for something, it seemingly goes unanswered, and then one day you're at the center of the very thing that once felt impossible. The waiting room is not punishment. God was positioning you to receive the fullness of your request. Stay in position. And I think that what you shared is...
You guys send me that.
I will send it to you. But I think it's just an example of how you go through all these things, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily go the way that you thought it was going to go, or it goes exactly how you thought it was going to go. Right. But either way, you have to kind of stay ready for whatever is to come, and understand that if something is not going right, it's not necessarily because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right. It may be just setting you up to be in position for whatever is supposed to happen.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that because, I took a little sabbatical from real estate a couple years in during a little breakup or whatever. Big break. That's a whole another podcast.
Right.
When I came back, I was like, I need to make money. I need to make money in this. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times people will not you may have like people that are close to you, even like family members, parents, siblings, you know, really close people that may be like, oh no, don't do that. That's not stable. That's this, that's that. They have all their own reservations about what you want for your life, right? Yeah. And the ultimate thing is that as long as you believe in yourself and you have faith, whatever is for you is going to be for you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Regardless of whatever else is going on around you, what's for you is for you. And, you know, I came back and I hit the ground running and did crazy business that year.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, the day that people are like, no, enough is enough. You can't do this anymore. I can't help you. And, you know. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, crap. I sold it today. Like,
yeah,
I
think,
you know, so
that, like, for me, that's been huge. I think having those same sort of experiences where people are like, oh, you're going to do this right now? Like, da-da-da. And it's like, well, everybody's not going to understand the vision because God didn't give it to them. Right. He gave it to you.
It's your vision.
And as long as you are, you know, prayerful and confident and persistent, keep going. You know, don't let anybody deter you from that because it's not for them.
Right. And also just make sure that you're being a blessing to others.
Yeah,
absolutely. The longer you are a blessing to others, despite whatever got going on, if you continue to be a blessing to others, you'll be blessed. And people are going to do you faulty. They're going to do you dirty. They're going to not believe in you. They're going to do all the things are going to be always happening around you. And the thing about it is, as long as you stay true to who you are as a person, like you're true to yourself, you're true to your faith, you're true to your family, you're true, like it's going to come out.
Absolutely.
Like it's going to come out and you're going to continuously be blessed. I always tell people the reason why I stay blessed in this industry is because I've been good to people. I'd be busting tail for people, okay?
Right.
I'd be busting. I ain't going to go. You know, I don't know where it's going to go. But
being kind.
Yes. And I'm a kind person. And so it's like, you know, I don't have to be Mr. Nice Guy to be a kind person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know.
Well. On that note.
Oh, we got a card.
Listen, bitch.
Pick a card.
All right, we're going to wrap it up with the affirmation cards.
Oh, I love this. Well, this is great.
Thank you. So I believe in manifesting good things and, like you said, putting out good energy and receiving it back. So I'm going to shuffle these. I'm going to have you pick a card. And the cards are called Listen, Bitch, but you don't have to cuss if you don't want to. You can say queen, you can say sis, you can say lady, mom, whatever you want to say. But pick a card, and I want you to read it out loud.
All right. Listen, bitch.
Is this how you read to yourself?
Yeah.
Like when you talk to yourself? Okay, talk to yourself. Look in the mirror like the card is a mirror.
Is not tied to your productivity.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Okay. Does that resonate with you?
I put this in the dashboard of the car.
Okay, I'm gonna
as I'm driving at 50 million miles a day.
Listen, bitch.
Is that how you talk?
I might say, listen, queen. Don't waste a drop of energy trying to change someone else. And that's that on that.
That's real.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me and pouring up.
That's right. Cheers.
Hussy.
Cheers to the hussy.
Cheers.
Later on, we're going to be like, I feel so high.
I know. We'll have to come back and be like, so.
Actually, we lied. This was fantastic.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I just want to know. I haven't felt the buzz yet. So
Are we sure we haven't felt it?
We probably didn't drink enough.
Bubbly.
Yeah. Cheers. See you next time.
Thank you. Till next time.